Wait, John Rowe.
The topic of the
We do a
podcast
podcast.
together,
We
and
should do a
honestly, I'm
podcast.
excited.
Wait, John. Wait, John Rowe. We should do a podcast.
The topic of the podcast together, and honestly, I'm excited.
G'day, dorks, and welcome to Lords of Dorktown, a podcast all about anime, cartoons, and video games. I'm your host, Philip, and the dork joining me tonight is the manga motherfucker himself, Johnny Rowe. How are you doing, bud?
I'm good, bro. Thank you for the kind introduction.
Yeah, you're very welcome, mate.
How are you doing?
Oh, mate, I'm pretty good. Look, I'll be straight up honest from the get-go. I'm recovering from a very bingey day for me.
Ooh.
Yeah, I binged the entire series of the show that we're about to watch in one day, which
One day.
Yeah, it's only 13 episodes. We'll get into it, but anyway. But it has left me feeling flat. I feel flat.
I know how you feel. I admittedly tried to reread the entire all the 78 chapters of the webtoon today and a bit of yesterday, and yeah, but I did really enjoy it. I tell you what.
Oh, we'll get into we'll get into all that topic later. But man, this will probably be the lowest energy I think I've come into one of these podcasts with. Like it is low right now. Like,
Yeah. Well, I'll let it slide. slide.
Yeah.
I'm feeling the same energy.
This might be a little bit of Lords of Dorktown after dark. We're just gonna get real. We're talking real slow and sensitive, like.
We'll get real deep.
Real deep. Man, so what's been going on this week, man? What's been getting it for you this week? Let's just dive straight in.
Oh, I've been getting it. I'm still playing Neo 2. Really enjoying it.
Yeah.
Been in terms of what I've been reading, keeping up to date with Black Clover. It's getting pretty crazy right now. We're kind of at a crescendo of an arc.
There was an announcement earlier in the week that I saw on Facebook, and I didn't bother to check to see the validity of it, but apparently the anime is wrapping up on the 30th of March. Will be the end of the anime. So I don't know
where the anime's up to at the moment, or
I'm pretty sure they've just hit Spade Kingdom.
Okay.
So does that feel right to you? Does it feel like they've got enough time to wrap it up?
Depends whether they're gonna. Well, I suppose if they're gonna do another season with what content has already been released, because otherwise they're going to be condensing way too much. I'd say how often is it? One episode per week?
Yeah. One simcast per week.
Yeah, they won't get it all in, so there must be at least 1 or 2 seasons to go before it's caught up with the manga at the moment. But yeah, man, that series is just still maintaining a super intenseness for me.
Yeah, man, it's probably like one of the most intense shonens like coming out at the moment. I can't think of any shonen that's releasing that's that high octane all the time. Black Clover doesn't seem to fucking breathe at all. It's just pedal to the metal.
Yeah, it's almost like Dragon Ball Z, just one thing after the other. Dunk, dunk, dunk.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, I mean we've got to do that second Black Clover episode, man. I don't even know if I don't even know if we just do a review on season 2 of Black Clover, or if we just get up to date. Because I'm basically up to date with the anime. Like I'm fucking ready to go.
Yeah,
We might as well just get up to date. Fuck this season stuff off and just get up to date.
Yeah, we can do a condensed episode if you really, because I suppose I am pretty keen to talk about the new stuff. So
yeah, man. Have you been reading anything new, or are you just still keeping up on all your ones on the go?
Started off. I've been reading Hardcore Leveling Warrior. It's a webtoon.
Oh, okay. Along the lines of like solo leveling and whatnot, or?
Not. It's kind of like more like alternate world kind of. It's virtual reality kind of stuff like that.
Like an isekai kind of deal, or?
Yeah, kind of. But
okay.
He starts off as the number 1 player in the game. That's where the manga starts off. The webtoon starts off, and then it's about him like kind of losing his character and then having to start back again.
Okay, that sounds interesting.
With a lot of fantastic characters, the animation gets better, the drawing and whatnot. So I'm pretty interested in the moment. I've been smashing it out. I've already read probably 70% of what there is within a matter of like 4 weeks, maybe.
Can we take a brief second just to fucking praise how good the Webtoon mobile app is?
Oh yeah,
fucking
Lucid
what?
Adventure.
What an amazing app. Like, I don't know why every like manga comic book reader or every app like that doesn't just follow the Webtoons model of how they lay out everything and how you read, and even the comment section under each issue.
We're talking. I thought you were talking about the actual mobile app of that particular Webtoon.
No, I was just talking about the mobile app Webtoon.
Yeah, the reader.
It's
the
fucking
reader. Okay.
amazing.
Yeah, I really like it. That's the one I've kept along with Tachiyomi.
Yeah.
To read my titles.
Yeah.
So, but I definitely like the interface of the Webtoon one for sure.
Just the leaving comments after chapters is like such a brilliant idea. I love it so much.
Yeah.
I would find myself like scrolling through comments for a good like 5 minutes afterwards, just like seeing what people dig on like about that previous chapter.
Yeah.
And you know, with Tower of God just reaffirming how much the fandom hates Rachel throughout.
I'm gonna have to. I don't really remember the Tower of God ones. I'll have to get on and have a read because I can definitely get on that bandwagon. Cause, fuck Rachel.
Yeah. I've been watching a new anime this week. Have you heard of an anime called Bungo Stray Dogs?
Nope, that is completely foreign to me.
Okay. So it's how do you describe Bungo Stray Dogs? So it's a crime detective drama with a bit of shonen sprinkled in. So
okay.
Basically, the protag is this young orphan boy who has an ability. He's a were tiger. His ability is he turns into a tiger. Okay.
Alright, so he's a crime detective. Tiger.
He can choose to only transform certain body parts. Like he can have tiger legs to be quicker or tiger arms to be stronger.
Okay.
Tiger tail for something, you know. You get the point.
All right.
And he's recruited to be a part of this gifted agency who fight crime that is of other gifted people committing crimes. Okay?
Okay. So yeah, nothing out of the ordinary so far.
Yeah, but
Yep.
that's where the ordinary stops, because everything else about this show is really good and really different, but I don't know if I love it. So, for example, right, the gifts, like the abilities...
You got to sell me on it, Phil.
For the gifts and the abilities that everyone have are so insanely wild and different and nonsensical that it kind of feels... The gifts kind of don't have any cohesion towards each other. So where his gift is a were tiger, which you think, okay, it's a physical gift, you know, there's a transformation involved, you know, we kind of know what a were tiger is in context with our world, like, you know, it's similar. Yep. But there's another character who gets introduced later in the season, and his gift is Huckleberry Finn and Tom Sawyer.
What the fuck?
So his gift is he has... Fucking stay with me, cunt.
Bro, you gotta sell it to me, not fucking get rid of it.
His gift is that he has these two little kind of summon things that are a little miniature Huckleberry Finn and a little miniature Tom Sawyer, and that helps him be very good at shooting. Now,
shooting?
Yeah, I don't fucking know, and there seems to be a thing where this whole group of American people, like this American Gifted Association that's called the Guild, that are trying to come in to invade Japan, and they're fighting them, but all their gifts are somehow related to historical American literature. I don't know why. I don't...
The author must have just read a fair bit.
It's never explained why, okay? But that aside... There's one arc in I think the start of season 2. There's this arc, right? And it's a flashback arc, and it's maybe four of some of the best mystery and crime writing that I've ever seen in an anime.
Oh, okay.
It's really.
Have you watched much crime anime though?
I've watched a few mystery animes, like that one on Netflix, B for Beginner, I think it's called. It's like a mystery one on Netflix. It's really good.
Yeah, no idea.
But this one, I watch a lot of true crime stuff, and it's not so much the way that they solve the mystery, but it's kind of how they interweave these characters and motivations, and yeah, it's really good because it's kind of got this mafia kind of early 30s kind of mafia vibe where it's speakeasies and it's really grim and gritty mafia, and I don't know, it's doing a lot of things that I really enjoy, but it's also one of the worst paced shows I've ever seen. It's fucking terribly paced.
What kind of age group is it? Like mostly is it like the lighter stuff, or is it a bit more?
No, it's a bit heavy.
Depth?
It is a bit heavy, but it does a thing. That
interests me way more than
it does a thing. It does a thing I fucking hate, and that's make you feel like there's stakes when there's not. Like, this is a tiny spoiler, but in the second or third episode, no, it's the third episode. A character that you've kind of been following for 3 episodes or following-ish for 3 episodes gets fucking riddled with bullets. Like, I'm talking just oozy to the back, is sprayed up and down, falls on a heap, blood, and you assume dead, right? Because they legitimately took like 4,000 bullets to the back, and like, you're dead. And then I was like, oh, fuck, man, they just killed a character off. This is sick. But then 3 episodes later, like, oh, no, she pulled through. It's fine. I'm like, there's no fucking... Admittedly, that there is a gift that is a pretty good healing gift, but also.
Oh yeah, okay, I forgot about that.
I prefer it when there's stakes. Like, don't. Yeah, it kind of annoyed me. I was like, no, don't threaten to kill off a character and then bring him back, especially when their death probably would have made the story progress quicker and probably better. It would have fixed the pacing because it does that and then it kind of stops again. And yeah, it's got some issues, but. For an anime that's only got 36 episodes out and it's a really decent dub, I'm definitely will push through it and hopefully.
What's this on?
Anime Lab and Crunchyroll. It's got dubs and subs. Man, I think it's worth it. I don't know. It's something different that I haven't watched before, and I think that's pulling me through the most of it. But it's got flaws that are fucking obvious.
Does the Were Tiger thing add any...
Yeah,
does the whole gift thing... Does it revolve more around the gift, like the whole gift and how they work, or
no?
Just more the everyday, more mundane crime
No,
stuff?
It's basically, without too many spoilers, it's basically the conflict between 2 to 3 different organizations. So you have the detective agency who's trying to keep the city safe. You have the Port Mafia, who are a mafia, so they're objectives of crime, and then you have the Guild, whose objectives are to influence, to wipe out the mafia and the crime organization to get a certificate that proves authenticity for a gifted association. It's it's wild. It's mainly a conflict between warring
America
parties.
Wants to get into the Japanese stock.
Yeah, there's a lot of lore and stuff regarding how gifted people can function in this world. But no, it's good.
Oh, okay.
It's good. I think it's got some merits on. I think it has merits in that it's doing something different with the genre, and it's not just shonen trash.
Yeah. Okay. And what was the name of it again?
Bungo Stray Dogs.
Every time it just makes me laugh. Bungo.
It's a dumb name. It really is a dumb name. But man, it's all I've been watching this week. It's like that, and the topic we're doing today is basically my entire week.
Yeah, I know. I'm at the point now with all of my... I've got so many titles that I've caught up with that I barely get to start anything new. And I'm constantly just catching up. There's a lot of updates every day pretty much. So.
Oh man, that's why I'm a binge boy. I just binge one thing, get it done, fuck it off.
Yeah.
Binge boy for life.
Too
It's
true.
bad for my mental health though. It is detrimental.
We'll just put the TV in front of the treadmill.
Oh, fuck. Do we want to rip into the topic today? I don't have anything else to say about what's been getting it.
Nothing more about Bongo.
No, I mean,
Bingo?
I've fucking talked about
Bungo?
for 10 minutes, and man, it's a tough one. Like, I think after every episode, I think my reaction of it kind of changed. There were certain episodes where I finished and I'm like, this is great. Like, there's
Yeah,
a
it was a
character.
good episode.
There's a character in there called Darzai who is probably I think he's got the funniest kind of little quirk thing where he really romanticizes the act of suicide.
Oh, wow.
So he's always researching suicide and different ways to do suicide, and he's looking for someone to commit suicide with him so he can have a partner in it. But it's all done in such a jovial, funny way that it's actually weirdly kind of comforting to listen to a grown man like talk about suicide so openly and being like, one day I'll do it, one day I'll do it. But it's never done in like a sadness or a malice. It's kind of jovial, but he never makes it sound. It's never that he's making fun of the act of suicide or he's belittling suicide. He's kind of
Okay.
I don't know, man. It's an interesting.
So they balance it well.
Yeah, it's a good take, and the character dynamics in the show were really good, and the agency that you focus on mainly has this really great cast of characters. But man, there's no stakes. The pacing's weird. The gifts don't technically make sense. There's a guy. Okay. There's a guy in this guild who has the gift Moby Dick. And
what the fuck?
His gift is he just summons a giant flying space Moby Dick, like flying Moby Dick in space that people. It looks like a luxury yacht on the inside, and it's got like a fucking Avengers shield technology where it just camouflages into the fucking scenery as it flies. It's fucking And yet there's another dude who just turns into a tiger. Fucking what?
And he's the main character.
Yeah, what? It's fucking yeah.
Tiger's lame, bro. I want the big invisible space whale.
Yeah, and it tries to do some like cool shonen-y fights, and some of it's really cool. But other ones are like, yeah, this is just flashy for the sake of being flashy. Like this is yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I can't imagine for the life of me them trying to draw in a massive space whale fighting.
I don't know if it just fights or if it's just the transport guy. Oh man, it's fucking.
Oh, he's got the transport power. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's cool, but yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know.
I'll see if there's a manga for it.
It is based on it. It is based on a manga. It is based on a manga. Because I remember the first time I ever saw it was I caught up to date on Blue Exorcist, and the next one that was recommended to me, because you know how they do that thing where if you like this, you'll like this. Blue Exorcist. After I finished that, the one that came up was Bungo Stray Dogs, and then I read through another little manga that was called like The Ancient Sacred Beasts or something like that.
Okay.
That was really weird. And then straight after I finished that, the next one recommended was again Bungo Stray Dogs. So I was like, oh, okay, fuck, that's two that it's come up with. So it must be in my vein. So as soon as I saw it on Anime Lab when I was scrolling through, I was like, oh, fuck it, let's do it.
Yeah.
And it was only 36 episodes, so it's easy to commit to because that's, I'm like 4 days into watching it. I'm up to episode 30, so it doesn't take long.
In your opinion, is it like those, or did they just pay for advertisement?
No. It's definitely got a vibe of both of those shows.
Okay, cool. That's good.
Blue Exorcist is it takes the shonen elements from something like a Blue Exorcist and makes them not shonen.
Yep,
that makes sense. If that makes sense,
I'll have to get my Anime Lab subscription back and give it a rip.
Now speaking of stuff that's shonen that's not shonen. Do we want to rip into the topic for today, buddy? We talked about it a bit up top.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. So we're talking Tower of God. Let's hear that intro.
Whatever you desire, you will find it here. Welcome to the Tower of God. Climb the tower, and everything will be yours.
At the top exists everything in this world, and all of it can be yours. You can become a god. This is the story of Rachel, The girl who climbed the tower so she could see the stars. And Bomb, the boy who needed nothing except her. This is their end and their beginning.
I see it clear, just reaching up to the sky. It seems so far away now, wondering if I'll ever get all the way to the end. But it's a risk I gotta take. I keep on running all day and night. Can't see even if it kills me. Never let you go, never let you go. I won't give it up until I see the light. I go.
So, Tower of God, buddy, based on a manhwa and then turned into a webtoon, and then Crunchyroll decided to turn it into a 13-episode season 1, covering 78 chapters of the original source material in 13 episodes.
A lot of chapters.
It's a lot of chapters in 13 episodes, mate.
But it translates more with webtoons because they are panel by panel pretty much.
So just for our listeners, I've read Tower of God up until about 350. You've read all of Tower of God.
I am up to date currently.
You have yet to watch the anime, though.
Have not touched the anime. Have not even looked at the trailer.
I kind of want it to keep it that way.
Yeah, I can definitely keep it that way. It's not a struggle for me. So we can keep the different opinion.
Yeah. Okay. Before we get too deep into this, we need to decide one thing, buddy. Do we rant about Rachel now and then not talk about her, or do we not talk about her till the end and then spend 20 minutes ranting about her?
Well, let's do it that way, because reading through again, even though I knew what was happening later on, I could still kind of appreciate who she was before everything that happened.
I feel like if we do it at the start, I'm just going to be so angry through the rest of the review that it'll be we'll save it to the end.
Definitely.
So this is the third time now I've watched season 1 of Tower of God. The third time.
Wow.
So I burned through it all again today. You were saying that you've read most of the first 78 chapters today as well. So going back to it, how'd you kind of feel about the story? I know for me, those first 78 chapters are the least pretty in the whole series. They're the worst drawn and the worst coloured in the whole series.
Yeah, definitely. Well, at least for the first 40, like the first 2 major arcs, I think were fucking horrible.
Yeah. So how'd that feel going back to that? Because I know that the art gets incredible. Like the art by episode, by chapter 100 is like amazing. Yeah,
super super beautiful art now. I did kind of think when I was reading, I was like, oh, they're super young as well.
Yeah. So
some of the panels that were drawn where it was just the silly cartoon kind of standard stuff. Simplified faces and kind of like cheesy bodies when they're doing like big expressions and whatnot. I was like, oh, okay, I'll let it slide. But I kind of was a little bit off put when I first started reading it, and I was like, this looks terrible compared to what it is.
It looks really bad. And I mentioned this when I gave Tower of God Season 1 my favourite anime of the year for last year. The reason that Tower of God Season 1 was my favourite anime was it felt like watching what I thought the first 78 chapters should have looked like. It felt like a realised version of those first 78 chapters for me. That being said, upon further reflection, I do feel like this first season is super duper rushed in some parts, where I think it would have been better to slow down and maybe give it a few more episodes.
Where was the first one in particular that you noticed that?
I think with certain characters like Hon or Ho.
Ho, yep.
Gets a bunch more play in the webtoon, and kind of feels like his motivations line up.
Oh, that's worth mentioning. Until it's explicitly mentioned that he's male, I really thought that was a female character.
Yeah, me too. But yeah, he kind of felt a bit more fleshed out in the webtoon. Also, I know we said we weren't going to mention her, but Rachel feels a lot nicer in the anime than she does
in the webtoon.
In the webtoon. Yeah, there's just, I don't know, you don't get a sense so quickly, or I didn't get the sense of how malicious she really was until like the very end of season 1 of the anime, whereas in the webtoon I found her maliciousness kind of seeped through a lot quicker.
Yeah, okay. On my read back, like, apart from it being really hard to like judge her any differently, there was definitely like 1 or 2 panels where I kind of felt the same, where I was like, oh, like she's clearly got like bad intentions or whatnot.
Yeah.
But the flashbacks that Bam keeps having of her, they kind of almost made me forget for a second that like she's absolute, like, what's going to happen.
Well, when I read the webtoon for the first time, I read it off your and Josh's recommendation. It was the first webtoon I've ever gone in on, and I remember I messaged the group chat, like our manga group chat that we all posed in, and I messaged that saying that I was reading webtoon, and you just messaged back, oh yeah, fuck Rachel, and I hadn't actually got to the part where Rachel had turned bad, so I'm like, oh man, okay, that's fucking out of left field.
Yeah.
And I just kind of forgot about it.
She does seem super nice.
Yeah, well,
still.
I just kind of forgot about it and kept pushing through. And then I remember like maybe 2 days later or even a day later, that group chat just lit up with me just being like, fuck Rachel. But we don't want to get bogged down in her just yet.
Take a breath.
So, cleanse the system. Only pure thoughts until we rip into that.
Yeah.
So in that little intro package we heard, they describe this story as the story of Rachel, a girl who just wanted to climb the tower and see the stars, and Bam, the boy who just needed nothing but her. So from the start, the tower is kind of this omnipotent figure where we don't really kind of get a grasp on what it is.
Yeah.
Without
even
any
when they put the
spoilers,
diagram up.
400 and something chapters in, buddy. Does your knowledge or say image of the tower changed and evolved over time, or is it still this mysterious kind of thing that is without form or figure?
100%. It's almost like it's expanded more and more for me, especially when, like, especially with some of the floors that they've been on. Yeah, just the no, it's not really a spoiler. Like how big they are. Like they just seem like a massive open expanse of nothingness. Some of them feel as if you're kind of in space, like that kind of scope of expanse.
Yeah.
So the tower has, for one, it's got way more mysteries. The further along you go, you kind of do understand the limits of it, because obviously, unlike the universe, like they put the limit on it pretty quickly when you find out that like rank has reached the top. So you know there's an end, but the size of some of these floors is ridiculous.
Well, even in this first season, like so when Balm and Rachel originally enter the tower, and the first kind of challenge they're up to, they meet the guardian of the tower, Hedon. Hedon. Even then, like when you watch that first and you think, oh, okay, now they're in their tower. They're in this dingy kind of basement-looking area. Like it almost looks like a dungeon because there's these big cages and it's very dark. And when I first watched that, I kind of was, or when I first read that, I was kind of led to assume that this tower was going to be this building. And then
me too.
they go to the next level, and they immediately shatter those expectations by it just being this open, expansed field. Like
as if you're out in the open.
Yeah, and there's seemingly a boundless plains in these levels, and I think it's so amazing for them to clearly lean into what you assume a tower is going to be, and then immediately shatter expectations, and then just keep doing it too, because even in that season 1, like we just go to so many the end of that season, where in this seemingly planet that has its own ecosystem, its own creatures, like it seems to be its own thriving place that doesn't exist inside anything. Like I just as a plot device, the tower is one of my favorite like concepts in anime or manga or manhwa or webtoon or anything. I love it. This idea of this endlessly expansing tower that's so ill-defined and unknown. It's a mystery.
Tower of mystery, yes.
I love it. It's so good, man. I fucking love the mystery in this show. And if you love mystery, fucking get on this show, because there's a billion mysteries and fuck, it feels like you don't get some answers sometimes.
Yep, big cliffhangers, you know. Ugh, always wanting more.
Always wanting more.
Yeah, but man, the tower though, like the more you understand, the less you understand about it. It's like, not only does it give it that block kind of checkpoint for the story, but they're so creative with it that the possibilities are literally endless. Even looking at the first 3 floors, how different they were, you know, you can get an understanding that they're going to be like, for instance, like one level could be like completely underwater, the other one could have none at all. Like I said before, like there could be an infinite expanse of space. Like and then they super interesting.
And then they throw in stuff like, to use Shinshu in that level, you have to make a pact, sign a contract with the level. Was it the level guardian, the floor guardian, the administrator, and that's like, and the first time we see that in the anime, it's this hard to define like obelisk eye floating in a grey void that is all seeing and all knowing.
You talk to him through your dreams, kind of like through the pocket.
It's so wild, man. I love how crazy this show gets. Yeah. And for a show that is as crazy as this, for it to lean in and focus on, instead of fucking pounding lore into us, which they do pound a fair bit of lore into us, but for it to be like a super duper character driven narrative, like an expansed roster of characters who all get backstory, they get individual motivations, they get personalities fucking overflowing, they get so much depth put into them. It's amazing. It's so crazy to have a show that's this expansive on lore and world building, for it to put that to the back burner and say, no, we're going to focus in on Kun. We're going to focus in on Shibitsu, who wears a purple tracksuit. We're going to focus in on all these weird characters who have their individual motivations and their individual backstories. We're going to focus in on them and let the world and the lore and everything just kind of flow as it flows. Like for a show that's this mysterious, I'm not super concerned about finding out everything about the tower, because I kind of want to know if Han's fucking B's the best swordsman in the world. Like, I just want to know.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
They do it so well that like you get very quickly invested in the characters, and like I said, they're also different as well, like relatable in different ways. And like I said, the backstories are fantastic. That it's just, you kind of feel like you want to be part of the group, the team, the gang. Yeah.
Well, I mean, we did our Best Boys and Girls of Anime like 2 episodes ago, and we had 2 characters from Tower of God. I had Rack on my list, and you had the 25th BAM on your list. But looking at this roster of characters and just coming off a fresh rewatch, it could be recency bias, but characters like Shibitsu, characters like Han, characters like what's his name, wrapped in a blanket, Laurie?
I call him Laurie.
Yeah, Laurie.
Yeah.
Hats, not Han, sorry.
Yeah, Hats. Yeah.
Like, all those characters could have got a look in on the list, because they're great even supporting characters.
Like, even Anak, like, she like, I'm sure to be a few episodes in, like when you start getting her backstory, it's super interesting.
Well, that's the interesting part about the anime. So the crown game, the crown game in season, that starts in episode 3.
Episode 3. Oh, okay. So it is the third test, I guess, technically.
Yeah, so episode 1 is basically Barn beating the eel in...
Yeah, let's go through the episode, so...
Yeah, okay, let's do that. So, episode 1, we get Han fighting the eel.
Balm, yep.
Balm. Yeah, cracking the ball. Episode 2, we get the 400 down to 200 test. So, that's when they're on the first level. 400 of them.
Do you get to see much like action between all the other randoms during that, or is it just the panel by panel pretty much of just following?
No. So you do see like the, I don't know if you remember in the webtoon, but you see the archer taking shots, but then he gets.
Yeah.
Well, no, there's a
taken
spear.
Out by the sniper.
Yeah, then he gets taken out by the sniper. The sniper gets taken out by Rack. Rack's looking for prey. All that stuff. Also, what I love is they keep some of the fucking shit character designs from the original webtoon that never reappear or haven't reappeared in the up to 350 that I've watched. But you know how there was just one character, and I'll see if I can pull up a frame for the Instagram or something where it was literally just a ball with like dots on it for eyes, and that's it.
Yeah, yeah.
They keep him. The animated and everything. Episode 3 is episode 3. Sorry, is the correct door test.
The whole episode is that.
Yeah, basically, and then that leads into the crown game, which starts in episode 4. So that's when you
so
get
it's episode
all
4
of
that it happens.
Yep.
Okay.
And then by episode 6, they're already at the position selection. Episode 9, they're doing the test to catch the ranker.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's really cool.
So that covers one episode basically. Episode 11, they're doing the underwater hunt. That goes for 2 parts. And then, episode 13, they finish with the reveal of Rachel.
Yeah, okay. All right.
So
they do kind of rush it a little bit.
They rush it. They rush it so much where it's kind of an unrelenting pace. You kind of miss out on a lot of nuance between the original the main cast.
Yep.
But
because all these characters are characters that you pretty much see throughout the entire story. So maybe they'll sprinkle in more of that missed content for backstories. I hope. Okay,
I don't think that they need to. I think what they need to do is just make minor spoilers for season 2. Me and you both know that this first season is a prologue. This first season is
set up for the entire kind of story.
It shouldn't be season 1. It should be season 0.5.
Yeah,
because season 1 really doesn't start until the events of this happen. So this being a prologue season, I think it's fine to be 13 episodes. I think they hit all the story plots they need to hit. Yep. And although a few relationships in the main cast don't feel as fleshed out and as real as they did for me in the webtoon, I feel like that's something that's easily rectified with a 24-episode season 2. Like, I feel like they can do it. I feel like they don't have to go through flashbacks to build these relationships up in season 2. If they just give us a 24-episode season 2, we can get all that stuff in by not having to cut out all the shit from the upcoming chapters. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that's a good point. And I suppose there's been a lot of releases where they do double up on the second season in terms of numbers of episodes. So
yeah, well, I mean, and we saw this too earlier last year with another webtoon that got adapted by Crunchyroll with God of High School. God of High School only got 13 episodes, and now knowing what I know that happens in the season 1 of the anime and knowing what I know from the webtoon, they cut out a lot of stuff and really for the detriment of that show. Like, that show is a good fighting anime, but the webtoon is a good fighting anime with a rip-roaring plot and an amazing backstory and
it's very well-rounded.
Yeah, it's not just a fighting anime where the anime is just a fighting anime. There's no depth here. And to take out all the aspects that make Tower of God good and just try to fit it into the mold of a shonen would actively detract from what this series is. Like, it's a plot-driven, how would you describe Tower of God? Like the actual source material.
Tower of God is something where I'd like to be on the scale of like a Game of Thrones or something like that. Like,
Yeah, well,
I want that much content.
well, you could get it because the source material's there, but like I feel like there's a few moments in this season where it felt like they were trying to push it into the category of shonen, where there's a few shonen tropes in there. They do a bit too much of the over exaggeration of the characters and the lean a bit too much into the comedy, where the comedy is there in the source material, but there's a lot more.
There's a lot more in depth, more important things that happen.
Yeah.
That they're okay.
And
So
I don't want them to try and push Tower of God into the category of shonen when it's probably more along the lines of like I actually don't know what you'd put this on along the lines with. Like if they were just to kind of be as faithful as possible without making it, too long and stretched out, this could potentially be a new genre of anime. It's definitely storytelling in a different level than we've seen in a lot of normal anime, whatever fucking normal means. But
Tower of God, it feels like it could have been a book.
yeah,
Like a full thick, like a full size, like hardcover almost. And then they've made the webtoon from that. Like that's the grand scale of what it brings, like how you feel when you're actually reading it. So
that is a good way to describe Tower of God. Grand scale. Everything does have this grandiose scale. Everything does feel so much more than what is being shown or described on the screen. There's always this sense that whatever's happening here or whatever is happening in this moment is not just happening in this moment. It is rippling effects throughout everything, and every decision has weight. And yeah, there's a lot of great things that this series does that maybe the anime is potentially missing out on.
Yeah, okay.
Also, fucking an atrocious dub.
Is it really bad?
It's not. Okay, no, it's a good quality dub in the fact that, it doesn't look weird, but the voices for me just did not line up. The voice for Balm is this boring shonen protag voice that just doesn't feel right for me. The voice for Rachel is way too cutesy. Like, Rachel to me sounds like she's smoked 20 packs of durries a day. Like she's always, how you doing, love? Like
sounds like a witch.
Yeah, fucking.
Do you?
Okay.
Oh no, I forgot what I was going to say now.
Fuck. And the soundtrack to this show, though, I highly recommend anyone to go to the Spotify and get the soundtrack playlist, because it is fucking
really
fire. Good. It's fire from woe to go, mate. Soup to nuts. It's fucking fire from top to tail. It's so good.
That's good, because like some of the scenes, you like feel like it should have a little note saying read this while playing like a certain song. I remember what my question was going to be. Is it dubbed from Korean or Japanese?
I think it's Japanese. I watched it in Japanese because it's a Crunchyroll original. They would have just used their studio to dub it.
Yeah.
So it's just straight Japanese. I did take a few notes writing this down, like when I was rewatching these episodes. I didn't pick up on any changes or anything that was too drastic when it comes to visuals. The one thing I did notice is Black March, the weapon that that Balm gets from
Yuri.
In the webtoons, I assumed it was just a stick.
Just a stick. That's a needle.
Yeah, well, no, like just a needle, like a point with no blade or anything.
Yeah, that one's bladed, yeah.
But yeah, in the anime, it is beautiful. It has this like slick, kind of subtle silver samurai blade on the end, and it's so subtle and clean and crisp. It's fucking gorgeous. It's so pretty.
Good to know. Because at the start, it's not drawn like that at all. It's just a black line with a white bandaged handle. So
yeah, exactly. As
same
well
with the Green April.
Yeah. Green April looks just like Green April in the series. There's no difference to that one.
Yep.
I think I've asked you this before, but does Enderosi Jihad Does she have horns in the webtoon?
No.
She has horns in the anime. I don't...
Like at the front of her head.
Yeah, like, you know where her hair parts? This is such a
Yeah.
visual thing for a podcast. But where her hair parts, there's a horn there.
Oh, what?
Yeah, she has a horn.
Is he really?
Yep.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say no. I'd have to really probably have a real close look now. Is it like a big horn or a small horn?
No, it's a small horn, but you definitely notice it. You notice it when she's in motion a lot. Can you see it there?
I'm just looking right now, and it's not there. It is not there.
Yeah, well, it's there in the anime, which is very weird.
Oh, wow.
Do we need to talk about the drip in this show?
The drip?
Yeah. Isn't drip street language for clothes? I don't know. I worked with like this.
It might be, but not from you, Phil. That's why I didn't understand it.
I worked with a 17-year-old the other day. They taught me new language. It's fun.
Yeah, there is some sweet outfits going around, I reckon.
Oh man, there's one character who kind of shows up for a little while. He's a big fuck off dude with wings, and he has, for some reason, he's just wearing this like tight white polo with a purple collar, and it's fucking fire. It's so good, man. It's so good.
I love it, even how Bam starts in like his black button up with the red vest on.
Oh yeah, his
strong.
outfit change mid season too is on point.
They don't explain like why he's wearing that outfit when all the flashbacks he's wearing just like a dirty rag.
Yeah, no, we don't get any. That's interesting because we don't really ever get any kind of backstory on Bam pre Tower. We see a few things with him with Rachel, but we still don't know where he came from. We still don't know who he is, and
well, we kind of know he came from outside. Well, we do know he came from outside the tower.
Yeah, but we don't know where that place is. And do you want it to stay that way? I kind of don't care what happened to him pre-tower because I feel like the tower
Absolutely not. I need to know where he came from.
Oh, really?
Because they mention it, how like Ulrich, the other irregular, and Phantasmia, they're all from outside of the tower. So what's outside the tower that all these beasts are? I'm super intrigued about that for sure. I got to say.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But I'm just gonna go straight into this one question I had. Did you look when they talk about the team from the other trial who kill everyone?
Yep.
And they're the only team left. How they say, okay, there's a princess there.
Yep.
And there's an irregular, like one irregular. Do you think that irregular is Rachel?
Yeah.
Because I was like thinking about it on the read back. There's the things I didn't pick up the first time. They talk about how like with the irregulars are super powerful. They kind of like don't realize where they get the power from, but why. But they are really super powerful. The huge guy that just goes roar, like it just makes stupid noises on their team. He throws the spear in the training.
Yeah, his name's Ghost.
Ghost. He throws the spear and nails the thing. Bro, that is like super hard, right?
Mm.
He's already super powerful, so I wonder, is he the irregular and Rachel's not?
Well, he disappears too. He vanishes.
Yeah, he does.
And that's never really explained.
Yeah, and like, why is he disappear? Like,
yeah.
So these are all.
Wait,
these
wasn't
are
he?
things
Wasn't he a gift by Hadon?
What do you mean?
Didn't? Oh man, maybe I'm misremembering. Anyway,
you just watched it today, didn't you?
Yeah, but like, I watched 13 episodes. I still worked an 8-hour day, and I took care of my children.
Oh my goodness! You're a beast, Phil.
My brain is fried. Do we want to talk about Kun for a bit? Because I feel like we haven't spoken about him.
Yeah, 100%. He's actually probably also another one of my favorite characters.
I'm honestly surprised he didn't make either of our best boys and girls of anime because he has all the criteria I need for a best boy. His hair is on point. His fucking drip is on point. Yeah, I'm just gonna say drip now. I'm leaning into it. Fuck it.
Yeah, he's got that drip.
Got that drip, whatever that means. He's fucking smart as a whip, mate. Fucking catch that dude on a bad day. I fucking try.
Yeah, really
He's
intelligent. Probably
really-
he'd have to be the smartest there for sure.
And like he's probably the one character throughout season 1 who seems to have a plan at all times. Everyone else kind of is a bit unpredictable and wild, but he's always like on point and thinking, and he always seems 5 steps ahead, especially with the reveal of his bag and the fact that he
In the Crown game, yeah.
hid people in there and they're revealed to help out. That was a fucking sick reveal.
Yeah,
I
that
loved
was
all that
unreal.
shit.
I remember the first read through of that. I was like, oh man, this guy is like crazy.
And there was hints to it throughout the whole thing. Like they left those
on the
hints in
read back,
there.
I saw it all. I couldn't
I
believe
know.
it. It's
How
so
good is
it's so
that?
fantastic. But I gotta say, like it's cool, and with like how they introduce him and like all the talk about like he's from one of the 10 great families, and you're like, oh, he's an OP character kind of thing. He's super intelligent. I really appreciated the correct door trial and how like they kind of take the time to point out that like it's because of that, like that's one of your biggest weaknesses.
Yeah, your inability
really
to make a
appreciate-
decision.
Yeah, and you need those people that can, make the hard choices.
Well, that's the
to
thing,
make
and
you
that's the thing
stronger.
I enjoy about all the tests on all the levels is that, and they mentioned it in this season, that the tests aren't designed to make sure that the strongest and most ferocious and fearsome people go up the tower. It's
Yep.
to make sure that the people who would do the tower harm are gone. So it's not always testing for these obvious things that you would test for, strength, speed, stamina, all that stuff. It's also testing to see, are you impulsive? Do you have the ability for compassion and to make a decision? Like, do you have the wherewithal to know who you are, what you want, and what you desire? Like, it takes a more existential look at people as a phenomenon, I suppose you could say, and that's where we get Bam. Like we mentioned it on our Best Boys and Girls of Anime, but Bam is one of the most human characters committed to anime. He's an untouched gem of compassion and potential, because and the characters around it mention it to him all the time. He's the epitome of a pure person, because
He's like a baby Jesus.
yeah, well, he hasn't had every hope and desire in his life stripped away.
Yeah, but he also doesn't know greed. He doesn't know like jealousy. Like all those things.
He's pure, and it's really good. The only thing I will say, in the anime, he kind of comes across a bit of a, I don't want to say that. I'll say it, beta male cuck.
Bro, he is
just-
that in the
Yeah,
at the start.
but in the webtoon, it
He's a
almost feels
bitch
like
at
he
the
has a
start.
bit more autonomy. But in the anime, he kind of always feels like, oh, okay, we'll do that then. Oh, okay,
Yeah.
we'll do that then. He
No.
doesn't really make any decisions, only when it comes to fucking Rachel. That's probably a good segue.
On the read back, honestly, I felt a little bit hard to swallow how much of a bitch he is at the moment. He's not willing to sacrifice anyone though, which is still good, but at the same time, like he's weak as fuck.
And it's not weak physically. It's this emotional fucking mental
Everything,
weakness.
yeah.
Like he's just What did you think about because one thing that I found really hard to get around my head was the positions in the team battling things. Like I for some
It's
reason
so random, huh?
it's so we got the fisherman, the spear bearer, the light bearers, scouts, and wave controllers. Why the fuck are they called fishermen's and not just... Is that a translation thing? Why aren't they just called fucking barbarians or fucking anything?
Because they take the weapons, they tie the guys up.
I know, it's just...
I don't really understand the difference between them and the scouts though, because the scouts are still like a kind of a frontline offensive kind of mid-range kind of thing, but
Yeah, that whole positions and that felt really weird.
yeah. I feel like they just lent pretty easy on the fishermen's just because of the shape of the shape and the slight functions of the weapon.
Yeah, which is
'Cause you
something
see
I do enjoy.
Anarch uses it a lot like a a catch and pull kind of thing
Yeah.
like that. But she pulls herself. She pulls everything, you know.
I do really enjoy what they do with the weapons in the later chapters of the webtoon. I think the weapons that come in and the way that they get utilized and stuff like how the pocket and the inventory and stuff look is very cool, and it's super interesting.
Yeah. That's the one thing. Like the weapons do get much broader as well. Like at the start, they only kind of give you this small inventory of weapons that you can choose from, and all the spear bearers need to throw spears. But it turns out that like later on, it's kind of a little bit more fluid than that.
Yeah, and even like wave controller seems like a really defined thing in this season. But you know, I know from reading further on that wave controller is a very blanket term for a lot of different things. Like a wave controller is not just a person who sits at the back and throws these Shinsu projectiles,
splash damage kind of spells.
No. A wave controller is a blanket term for about 40 different things. It feels like. Yeah,
and like it's kind of hard. Like I just automatically put them under the umbrella of like the mage character, because that's what I was trying to do. I was trying to link up these positions to like different standard stereotypical character roles in like a party. But later on in the series, like the wave controllers can do an assortment of things that are kind of very imaginative and interestingly unique. But then every other position can kind of do the same thing. So yeah, I didn't know. On the read back, I kind of felt on the first read through, I remember not kind of understanding the whole positioning thing, but on the read back, I kind of understood it a little bit more. But then again, like it's a bit weird still. The only person that you can is obviously doing what they're supposed to, that should be done is a guide. In my opinion. Yeah,
and like guides are something we don't really even spend that much time with in this first season, so I don't want to talk too much on those for spoiler reasons. How about we do this? How about we rip into She Who Shall Not Be Named, and then we talk a few spoilers in a little sealed section at the end?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
Let's talk about
Rachel
that
having
bitch.
The absolute fucking audacity to make Balm swear never to betray anyone.
Betray someone? Oh my god.
As long as he lives is the most outrageous thing I have ever fucking watched in my life.
I know.
I was so fucking angry at that.
What a fucking hypocrite.
She is the most evil person committed to screen I've ever witnessed. I don't think I've ever held so much hate in my heart for a fictional character that I have for Rachel.
Oh, bro, reading through again, all my emotion is still there. But when that first happened in the webtoon, I was clenching my fists. I had to put my phone down. I had to go take a drink of water. I needed to calm down because she makes me so mad, man.
And the way that's done in the webtoon and the anime is great. The scene where Balm is just in this fucking daze of beauty, and he's kind of feeling this sense of all his friends are camaradeing around him, and they're pulling it together, and this beautiful teamwork is making this beautiful thing happen. Everything's fine. The world is pure. Everything is happy, and she fucking stands up and pushes
him.
What the fuck is she doing?
Oh my god, bro.
It is the worst fucking feeling in the world to see, because it felt like someone took my childhood lights and dreams and pushed them off a cliff with Balm. It is
bro, he was
fucking
in a coma
heinous.
for 5 days because of that bitch. 5 days he was in a coma.
And the scenes afterwards where Rachel only emerges and all Balm's friends just take this solemn pledge to fulfill Balm's legacy and take Rachel up the tower. It is heartbreaking to watch good characters make a bad decision from an evil woman.
She's manipulating all of them like the evil witch she is.
Oh, man. And the way they do her design as this kind of cutesy, not so much cutesy, but this subtly kind of girl from next door look where she's humbly attractive and she's fair and she's got these fucking snake eyes that pierce through your skull. It is a brilliant bit of writing because I fucking hate her.
I felt like I was the one that got pushed off the freaking bed.
Yeah, it's fucking heinous. And okay, no, I'll leave that bit to spoilers.
And in her words, I hope the sky falls on her because
I kind of fucking... I almost wish that her desire was not to see the sky and was just to become an omnipotent god, because it would be easier to hate her. Because there's something so pure about her motivations of just wanting to see the stars. For a girl who spent her whole life staring at a blank ceiling, to go up and see the stars, it's a really touching motivation. Too bad she's a fucking cunt.
I'm going to go back to what you just said then, how she just spent... Was she? She wasn't there. She came through the hole in the roof. She
That's
wasn't even
true.
there with him the whole time. Where did she come from?
Fucking hell.
That's
where she came
was
from.
above him. She was just coming down the trapdoor to come see him. That was whack.
And
questions I want answered.
The scenes of her where she sees kind of Balm being with all the friends and she's jealous of Balm having all this and her having nothing.
Has a nightmare. Or
Yeah, her nightmare.
Yeah.
And it's just like, bitch, fucking what?
You did this.
You fucking... He would have fucking followed you and did all this for you. He wouldn't even care about them, but you left him, you monster.
Oh my god. And fucking, like, this is a little bit of... I don't know if this is a little bit of a spoiler alert, but then he's going to forgive her?
Man, the craziest thing is I knew from the moment he was pushed off that he would always forgive her. Always forgive her. Because Rachel's not a person to Balm. Rachel is fucking life. Rachel is light to Balm. Like, she is not a human being confined by flesh and blood to Balm. Like, she is this ethereal fucking goddess, holier than thou. It's like thinking that it's like the abusive relationship I have with Macca's and KFC. Like, I cannot see the bad in it. I only see the good. Everyone tells me it's bad, but I only see the good bits.
I feel they're going to push you off of bed one day.
No, they're going to clog my heart, cunt. That's what they're doing.
And you're still going to go back.
Every time.
You're as masochistic as Balm.
And like Rachel's reasoning for pushing Balm away because she doesn't want to be held down by him, like, it makes sense, but also it's so hard to agree with that justification when it feels like Balm could never hold anyone back. It feels like...
He's not holding his team back at the moment, that's for sure.
Yeah, man.
Plus, with what you know up until that point, like, you're just like, oh man, like, he's actually like super powerful at some point. So
okay,
she's just an asshole. You can't just for this first season, like, you can't fathom why she would even do that. It's stupid.
So, do you just want to do a quick spoilers for the webtoon for the next 2 minutes? If you haven't read the webtoon, skip ahead for hit 15-second button till we're in the Getting Moldy section or whatever. Spoilers. The second the second turn of Rachel where she reveals that she can walk and she does fucking awful things to a character who's built on speed. That, for them to top
that
the
was
Balm,
so sad.
For them to they topped the Balm reveal with a second reveal that's fucking evil as shit is amazing.
Really actually evil. Like, that was
amazing.
the point where you're just like, oh, you're actually a completely evil bitch. Like, you didn't just do it to Balm because you've got these weird feelings that you're too young to understand. It's like, oh no, you've got a plan. You're manipulating everyone. You're a cunt.
She's irredeemable. She has no redeeming factors. She is pure chaotic evil in the fucking purest sense. She is a monster.
Like the fact that I hate her more than the genocidal King Jihad, says it all. Like,
I'd buy King Jihad a beer at this point. I wouldn't fucking piss on Rachel if she was on fire.
I'd buy Jahad beers until he needs to piss, and then he can piss on Rachel.
Getting pissed on by the king's a bit too much, though.
Too much. You just light her on fire and
I'd get peasants pissed. Yeah, fuck her, man. Do you think that when the second season, if the second season starts, when we get introduced to the new roster of characters, do you think that the series will have an easier time selling those characters, or do you think that it'll be hard?
No, I think they still will. I feel like if they've obviously made the decisions just to make like the season 1 like the hook season. The season 2 is like super high hopes for it, and it's written in such a natural way that when I'm learning about the characters, they still have a lot of history with the main story plot, and they keep coming back in, and like you get to know them and really like them.
It adds new characters in the same way that a series like Hunter x Hunter adds new characters in, where it just constantly brings in these new interesting characters that you fall in love with through arcs, and maybe some get dropped by the wayside and maybe some get dragged through the whole series. I really do hope that Tower of God gets a 24 episode season 2, because that second season with that level arc, with those new characters, I'm trying not to do any spoilers here, and it's fucking hurting my brain. With those new characters, it's really fucking good. It's a really tight arc in the webtoon. It's a really fun arc in the webtoon. I feel like they might have some issues with copyright with a few things that they might have to change the design of. I'm mainly thinking Pokeballs.
Pokeballs and stuff. Yeah, I completely forgot that they referenced Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah,
in that first season, I completely forgot, and I was like, "Wow, that's fucking left of field."
There will be a few copyright issues. I think they might have to change the design of a few things, and it's not. Yeah, it's a weird thing where they're clearly inspired, and maybe the artist just needed a design and just picked something he was familiar with. But I feel like they might have to change a few of those things.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. Do we want to rip into the getting moldy cheese section?
Yeah,
let's
we
do
don't
that.
go too deep on spoilers.
Yeah, no, too deep in spoilers. The moldy cheese section. This is a segment of the show where we take a look back on the various shows that aired on Cheese TV, and we decide whether it's aged like fine cheese or if it's just plain moldy. And this week on the menu, it's the 1997 animated series Extreme Dinosaurs. In the modern day, a team of anthropomorphic dinosaurs created by aliens must stop 3 anthropomorphic velociraptors who were also created by aliens who want to cause a cataclysm that would speed up global warming and make Earth's climate pleasant for dinos again. Let's hear that rip-roaring intro.
Something's really rocking on planet number 3. Modern man's got prehistoric company. A colossal fossil fuel, unlike anything before. Between the reckless raptors and the extreme dinosaurs. Extreme dinosaurs. Tails that stiff like thunderclap. Talking, stalking, raptor trap. Extreme dinosaurs. The plastic and Jurassic form. Extreme dinosaurs. Sorry and stop. Let's fossilize them. Extreme dinosaurs. Velocitosses to the max. They fossilize them in their tracks. Extreme dinosaurs. The plastic and Jurassic form. Extreme dinosaurs.
So with the success of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, we saw this kind of show come into popularity. The 4 big dinosaurs fighting bad guys and being real rad while they do it. So, mate, do you remember
And they're
Extreme Dinosaurs?
Anthropomorphic.
Oh, mate, fucking Cheese TV's favourite word. every fucking coked up studio producer in the 90s favorite word, anthropomorphic.
How lazy were they? They were just like, yo, they're doing it. Let's just do it.
Yeah, fucking. But so do you remember Extreme Dinosaurs?
Yeah, I do. And these anthropomorphic dinosaurs did it well.
I mean, it's probably the
loved
best
this.
one. It's probably the best, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles copy I've seen. Like, so we saw earlier in this segment we had Biker Mice from Mars, which was a clear
How good.
inspiration. What's that?
How good was Biker Mice from Mars?
It was terrible, dude. It's fucking it was fucking awful. But this this show slaps. It's really good. It's an absolute perler, mate.
I was well versed with this one when I was a kid. I even had like a few of the action figures. Used to play with quite regularly.
Yeah, I was looking at some of the action figures online when I was doing research for this shows, and they're really good. I had a few of the action figures. I didn't have them all. I definitely had T-Bone, the leader, his action figure, because he was the coolest one.
Yeah.
Man, on rewatching this show, I was kind of shocked at how great a lot of this show is.
Yeah, you linked the first episode when you were telling us it was on the Moldy Cheese, and I sat there and watched the whole episode. I don't know if I told you, but I watched the entire episode.
Yeah, wow. So I did my holy religious
3 episodes.
sacred commandment of 3 episodes, and yeah, man, happily went in for episode 4, episode 5, episode 6, and episode 7. Like, I was just happy to let that YouTube fucking autoplay just keep rolling through.
Yeah.
I think the voice actors really pulled me through this. So we get Scott McNeil voices T-Bone, so he's in stuff like X-Men Evolution. I'm pretty sure he voices Piccolo in the original Dragon Ball Z.
Really? Wow.
I'm just looking it up now, but yeah, he's we also get Gary Chalk as the leader of the Bad Raptor. We get just so many good ones. I'm just looking it up now. Yeah, he was Piccolo in Dragon Ball Z. He's in like Mobile Suit Gundam. Man, he's done a bunch of stuff. Like he's such a familiar voice actor.
Yeah. I feel like all the voice actors around that, like all the TV shows, cartoons around that 90s period, all used kind of the same popular voice actors. Those guys definitely got a lot of work.
Yeah, but like the fact, like, and I've watched a bunch of these shows for this segment, and the voice acting usually lets basically every one of them down. Like, it's usually really badly done, but the voice acting in this it's really good. I was kind of amazed at how good the voices and just how good the characters are. Like the 4 dinosaurs we get, so T-Bone, Spike, Stegs, and Bullseye. So it's a Triceratops, a T-Rex, a Velociraptor, and a Stegosaurus.
Yeah, those pterodactyl.
Yeah, those 4 are just really fun characters, all well voiced, and they've all got these cool little quirks. Apart from T-Bone, he's kind of the most boring, but like Bullseye the pterodactyl is obsessed.
He's got the stomp. What are you talking about, man? He's got the stomp.
The Sarian stomp. But Bullseye the pterodactyl, he has this really cool plot line throughout every episode where he's addicted to shopping from infomercials. So he's always like, it's just really cool. And the one super sad thing.
That's so like is it Mikey on Teenage? He's always buying pizza.
Yeah. Oh, did you catch? I don't know. You wouldn't have seen it in the first episode, but their equivalent to pizza in this is corn chips and salsa.
Oh, really? No, I didn't. Yeah, that's not in the first episode.
They're always just like corn chips and salsa.
They just have to have a bad diet and bad consumer habits.
Oh yeah, of course, of course. It's a little bit sad when you're watching it because all the 4 dinosaurs they have their signature move is the Sarian stomp or the Sarian stomp or something like that, and all the 3 fucking normal dinosaurs that aren't the pterodactyl stomp the ground, but the pterodactyl can't stomp the ground, so he doesn't do anything. And also, they do this, instead of high fives, they go tails in, so they put all their tails together. Yeah. But the pterodactyl doesn't have a tail, so he just flies next to him. It's fucking so sad. It's like, he just looks so excluded from everything, but they had to put a flying dinosaur in there. It's really great.
They had to for diversity.
Yeah, it was a diversity hire. You know T-Bone, the leader.
Yep.
Did you? Now this might be a reference that fucking no one, well, that you might not get, and maybe like 4 other people out there might get. But the design of T-Bone reminds me of the designs from the episode of Futurama, The Problem with Poplars.
Oh, where they eating the chicken nugget things?
Yeah. They're all wrinkly and they've got the horns and stuff.
Yeah, actually, that's so true.
It's all I could think about every time T-Bone was on stage. I'm like, he just looks like the poplar things.
He looks like that popcorn chicken thing.
So
that's such a funny reference, bro.
It's fucking all I could think about. It's all I could think about. So you said you watched the first episode. So what did you think of that first episode? Like the overarching storyline. Can you sum up to me what happens in that first episode? I'd love to see you try.
The overarching storyline is so it's actually funny and corny, I think, but I thought it was pretty whack how it happened. Like the dude just pops up and like grab.
Yeah, literally like
how else are you gonna make that happen? Like
an alien scientist pops up and his evil plan is to get some henchmen, so he just grabs 4 random dinosaurs.
Yeah,
puts him in a machine.
He's got enough technology to literally transcend time and space, but he has to get these dinosaurs to give them weapons.
Yeah, to help his fight. Yeah, so he transforms 4 dinosaurs out, the 4 titular dinosaurs in the Extreme Dinosaurs. And as soon as they're transformed and sentient, they're like, no, we're not going to fight for you. What the fuck?
Yeah, he's like, I made them way too smart.
Yeah, I made them too smart so they're not fucking violent and angry. Like, yeah. So that he transforms 3 raptors, which kind of annoyed me that he transformed 3 raptors instead of 4, because like the Extreme Dinosaurs always have such a massive advantage because there's literally just more of them.
And then, like, I can only remember the first episode, but I'm pretty sure they regularly seem like they're dying, but then they always pop up in the next episode.
Yeah, they definitely do a bunch of stuff, like very 90s kid show stuff, where there's an episode where I think the Extreme Dinosaurs get drugged and put down the bottom of an elevator shaft and then have rocks dropped onto them.
Oh, Jesus.
But they're fine. Like, they just get rescued and they're fine. Like, oh, that was a good nap. I'm like, you're in the bottom of a mine shaft. Like, you're dead.
You got crushed
The Velociraptors, like the villains, are all really great. But I just want a massive shout out to Spitter, who's the guy, the raptor that talks with the big lisp, because he spits stuff from his mouth.
What weapon does he have? I can't remember.
Spitter. He literally spits stuff from his mouth.
Oh God!
He's like, it's really great. Like, and he has to refill the tank on his back with new, stuff, and he keeps getting confused because he buys hot sauce that's like, will make you breathe fire, but it's just really hot, really good hot sauce, and that always plays into the whole salsa and dip thing with the corn chips. Like, it's really great.
They really turned down that intelligence on those raptors.
Yeah, they're dumb as fuck. And the main motivation for the raptors to, like, when they move to present day with the Extreme Dinosaurs is they're just too cold all the time. They're sick of being cold. They just want to be warm. So they're trying to cause global, like, warming. They're trying to speed up global warming. So there's also this weird environmental message in there, but it's just dinosaurs beating up dinosaurs. Like, it's fucking great, man. It's so good.
This was around the time of Captain Planet.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's definitely around that early 90s. Like, this came out, late 90s. Sorry, this came out in 1997. But definitely, there's a lot of that era. Well, that all late 90s is kind of marked with this whole climate change.
Yeah.
And rightly so. That's probably when we probably should have started fixing a lot of these issues. But moving on, this isn't a political podcast. We're here to talk about stuff that matters, like cartoons and video games. Anyway, Extreme Dinosaurs, mate. What do you reckon? Do you think it's moldy? Do you think it's fine cheese? I've made my decision.
I don't think it's moldy at all. The fact that I actually sat there and watched the whole episode, normally, like, when you link a first episode, I'll watch a little bit and I'll be like, this is fucking bad. I watched the whole episode, so I'm going to say it's fine cheese, to be honest, because I would watch the second episode if someone sat down and wanted to, like, was like, yeah, put that on.
Man, you've hit the nail on the head. This is fine cheese. This is really shows that just because something is an imitation on another thing doesn't make it bad. Like, this is clearly an imitation on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. But it's fire, man. It's fire from where to go. It's fucking good. This is fine cheese. 10 out of 10.
Eating Street Sharks at the same time. It kind of seems like that a lot as well.
Yeah. Street Sharks will be on there. We'll be on a moldy section soon, actually. So let's call this fine cheese, mate.
Cover all 9,000 taste bud. Aerate it. Warm it up. Driving up that top note, that cream, pure vanilla, sweeteners. That's a 10.
You heard it here, folks. Extreme Dinosaurs, that's a 10. It's fine cheese. Man, before we wrap up and get everything moving, we sprinkled in a few little hints on the last episode we recorded about an upcoming project that we've got working on. So we should probably announce that. We are doing a very special event for the month of March. We are doing March Memory of Madness. Woo! So for the whole month of March, we are kicking it old school. I fucking hate myself for writing that down. I forgot. That is, shut up. Fucking kill me. Anyway, for the whole month of March, we are kicking it old school with episodes covering some of our most nostalgic topics ever. I'm talking Pokemon. I'm talking Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm talking Digimon. I'm talking more. I'm talking lots more. It is going to be a whole month of just pure nostalgia anime. I can't wait to talk about some Gen 1 Pokemon, some Gen 1 Yu-Gi-Oh!, some Gen 1 Digimon.
I know, we need to talk about the OGs and then we need to compare them.
Yeah, definitely. And we've got a bunch of fun stuff we're going to do. There probably won't be a bunch of reviews in that month. It'll probably be a lot of topics. I know we're working on some Pokemon stuff that's going to be very fun, and I can't wait to get into that.
Super excited for that.
So, yeah, man, build the hype up now. March Madness, it's coming in March. It's going to be madness. Let's fucking do it. We should probably wrap it up there, my dude. We've been going for fucking ages.
Let's hit it.
Yeah, man. Make sure you go check out all the socials. We are at Lords of Dorktown on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Twitter scares me and Facebook's dead, so Instagram mainly is what we're doing. It's been really fun having you here. It's really fun.
It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, man. Make sure if you want to get in touch with the pod, just email us at lordsofdorktown@gmail.com. I think that's all the plugs. Leave us a 5-star review if that's the thing you like to do. Yeah, I got nothing else. Johnny, sign us off, boy.
Get amongst it, guys, and stay dorky.
Stay dorky. Fuck Rachel.
Fuck Rachel.